Hi there, thanks for taking up with us here on Golf Central. I'm Tom Lewis. In a moment, we will travel to Dubai as the European Tour puts a bow on the season. But first, we stay in the States for this country's national championship when it comes to women's golf. It's the U.S. Women's Open at Champions Golf Club. This championship in December due to COVID-19, and players will really have to work hard to prepare this week. Our Lisa Cornwell is on the ground at Champions and joins us with the latest. Lisa?
Well, Todd, so many great storylines to follow this week, but you mentioned it, playing on two different golf courses the first two rounds. That's never happened before. Now, obviously, these players are used to getting ready for major championships. They're used to difficult tests, but this week a little extra difficult because of the limited daylight and having to challenge those two golf courses. We talked to the players, and it's always interesting when you talk to different players. You sometimes get different answers, but they were pretty steady in terms of how differently these two courses are playing.
Jackrabbit, you can't be short-sighted. You know, if you're short-sighted, you're going to make bogey or double or worse even. Like you said, the surrounds of Jack are pretty wet right now just from all the rain. So a good ball striking day over here would be nice.
Cypress Creek is a big golf course, and there's a lot of cover numbers at 230. There's going to be a lot of 4-irons and 5 woods. And if I just could kind of capitalize on that 10-15 yards, I think it'll benefit me just a little bit.
I loved it. A lot of drivers off the tee, which I think is great. A lot of character. Greens are massive, so a lot of long putts, and they're fast. So probably a lot of 10 feet and in putts for par, and long lag putts.
At Cypress, I would say I think it's still ball striking because you got to get it in the right sections of the greens. You know, you may look like you hit a good shot, but you're still going to be 60 feet away. So, so good lag putting over there is going to be the key there.
They're both rolling differently, the greens. They break differently, speed's different, and grass is a little different. So I think being able to calibrate as fast as I can between Thursday and Friday would be a little helpful to going into the weekend.
But just getting to know around the greens where to miss it, and where is the best shot to leave yourself. So I think that's the most important, especially coming into the greens. They're big, but at the same time there are some runoffs, especially on the Jackrabbit golf course. So just leaving yourself in the right positions.
They're both really long, which is really good for me, so that's great. Jackrabbit seems to be a little bit easier. Cypress seems to have the greens, if you miss it left, it seems a lot of the holes you're going to hit it in the water. So it's a major, it's the U.S. Open, so middle of the green on every hole is going to be really key.
And who better to give us some more insight, better explanation of what these players are talking about than our major champion, Karen Stupples. And look, it is a challenge. I mean, you go out there and walk the golf courses, just visually you can tell that they're different. But as you break it down and you really sort of get around these greens in terms of what these players are talking about, what do you notice?
Well, the first things first is if we go to the Jackrabbit course, okay, the players are only playing one round of golf on that golf course, but they do really need to pay attention to it. It's particularly tight off the tee shot, so they may not necessarily have to be as aggressive off those tee shots, but they will have to be very precise with their shots to the greens. The greens are small, and as Stacy Lewis was saying, they fall off very quickly off either side of that green, and it's not very easy to get up and down. If you're just on the wrong side, more likely than not, you're going to be walking off with a bogey. And so you really have to miss on the correct side, but ideally you want to be hitting all of those greens in regulation, and you'll have a decent score if you can do hit many greens. But if you move forward to the other golf course and you move on to Cypress, it's a much bigger feeling golf course. It feels a little bit wider open. Everybody thinks that they can hit driver everywhere, and they're going to feel like they have to, but that can sneak up on you too. The rough, even though it's not very long, it's going to cause the players enough of an issue with getting the ball close to the hole with regards how firm these greens are and how big they are. And everybody has spoken about avoiding 3 putts, great lag putting, making those 10-foot and in putts. That's going to be important. And I think the players will really have to focus and concentrate in a big way on that. 2 completely different courses, but with one goal at the end, picking up that trophy.
And obviously most of the focus will be on Cypress, but again, you cannot sleep on Jackrabbit. When you get to that bigger golf course, those massive greens, what's more important? Picking your right spot on the greens, or really dialing in the speed, playing for the middles, and just sort of taking that.
No, I think you have to take on and be in the right quadrant. I mean, it's great to be in the middle of the green, but you're going to have some really seriously long putts if you do that. Ball striking is all important on this golf course, and I looked at Danielle Kang with her sort of 7 irons to 5 irons and in. She's going to be pretty cool on this golf course.
There are a lot of players that we're going to be paying attention to, obviously, Todd, and we're going to get Karen's opinion on, in addition to Danielle Kang, who else she likes moving on this week, coming up a little bit later in the show.
On Sunday, Angela Stanford, born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas, won the Volunteers of America Classic just 45 minutes from where she grew up. It was her 7th PGA Tour title and first since winning the 2018 Evian. She would love to win another major and make it back-to-back wins in her home state. Stanford, in the first tee time off on the Cypress Creek course, she's actually hitting the very first shot in this championship, playing alongside Jody Ewart-Shadoff and Nicole Brock Larson. So Angela Stanford winning in the Dallas Metroplex area last week, a hometown win of sorts, and there is a prominent local at the U.S. Women's Open this week in Houston. Our Lisa Cornwell joins us once again to talk home cooking. Lisa?
Todd, everybody loves to win at home, but these players in Texas, they are proud of their home state. What the emotion that we saw last week from Angela Stanford, absolutely phenomenal. She has worked at 43 years of age so hard to get here. We think about what all she's done in her career. And then, oh, by the way, there's another Texan who has had quite the career as well. We spoke with both ladies about what it would mean to get this major title this week in their home state.
It's a dream to even play in Texas for an Open. I think that's helped my expectations this week. I think, being older and understanding what a big deal that is, I think I've let go of some of the expectation and just enjoy it. I mean, I'll never get this chance again, and I'm gonna enjoy it as much as I can.
This is your home state, as you said. You live really close by. You got to watch Angela win last week. What would this one mean to you to be able to win? Not because I know how much majors mean to you, but a major in Texas.
It would be everything. I've always said I don't know how I top a win at St. Andrews, and this one will probably do it.
And Karen Stepples, you know what it's like to win a major close to home. Talking to Stacy yesterday, I'll be honest, when she said that, it actually gave me chills. I mean, to win a major at St. Andrews is absolutely enormous. But for her to use those words as far as this week, just reflect on what Angela and Stacy said and what it was like for you in terms of the pressure and wanting to get the job done.
Well, the amazing thing to me was, yes, you obviously want to win at home. You want to make all of your home supporters proud. You want to make your parents proud. Everybody that's sacrificed for you along the way to get where you are. You want to give them the opportunity to see you lift up a major championship in your home state or in your home country. And so for Stacy and Angela, I feel like there's a little bit of pressure on them, but I also think that they're going to get a lot of comfort from being at home, knowing that everybody wants nothing but the best for them. Like, they want them to go out and play well. Angela, she's coming in here on a high, having won just last week, and she's made some huge changes to her short game just to be able to play those short little touchy-feely shots from below the green surface up to a high surface, which, by the way, will stand her in really good stead on that Jackrabbit course. So watch out for Angela Stanford over there for sure, and probably on Cyprus as well. Now, Stacey Lewis, I mean, this is obviously very comfortable for her. She's very used to these golf courses. She hasn't had to do as much work on the courses to get to know them as a lot of the other players. That's very comfortable as well. But not only that, she's able to work the ball both ways. She's a shot maker. That's going to be huge playing into these big greens.
Okay, so I'm guessing by listening to you talk, you like Stanford this week. You like Stacy.
Yep.
Who else do you like?
I think it's really hard to look past the number one player in the world, Jin Young Ko. She played very well last week at Old America, just up the road in Dallas. And she had her game together, if not just for one little slip up on the 14th hole where she had a double bogey that kind of opened the door for Angela Stanford. Jin Young Ko's ball striking is phenomenal. She's the most target disciplined player out here there is. If Dave Brooker, her caddy, tells her to aim at a certain spot on the green, she's going to aim right there and she's going to hit it because she's that good. So if her ball striking's in order and she's hitting those targets, watch out, because those two together are a bit of a lethal combination. Oh, by the way, she's pretty good with the putter as well. So Jin Young Ko is going to be should be on everybody's radar this week.
In my opinion, the best in the world with the putter in hand. Okay, quickly, we have time for one more. The USGA likes to make golf courses tough. These are tough courses. We usually see scores around par to win these championships. What are your expectations this week?
Wow, my scoring expectations. I think people need to look a little bit deeper than even par. I think they've got to be close to double digits under par this week. I think this golf course is very scoreable. The par fives, I think players can take advantage of them this week. And the par threes a little bit shorter, albeit a little tricky. I still think it's very manageable. So I expect the scoring to be maybe a little better than people are thinking.
The USGA may be hearing your words. They're going to get the rollers out tonight, double roll them, get these things as firm and fast as they can, because they do not like that. But we love watching it no matter. These are great championships, and this week certainly will be that, Todd.
Yes, indeed. It should be fun to watch. Ladies, thank you very much. LPGA rookie Andrea Lee tested positive for COVID-19 this week, and unfortunately for her, she had to withdraw from the U.S. Women's Open. According to the USGA, Lee is experiencing mild symptoms and will now go into quarantine per CDC guidelines. Time now for Picks of the Week, presented by TaylorMade. I'm not smart enough to make picks, but Tripp sure is. All right, Tripp.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you seem smart at least. You're fooling somebody. Let's start with the U.S. Women's Open.
I get 2 bites at the apple?
Yeah, 2 bites.
All
You're
right.
so smart, you get 2. U.S. Women's Open, who are you liking?
Well, you know, this golf course and the fact that the rough is dormant, I really like Lexi Thompson for a couple of reasons. It's a big golf course. She can let the driver go. The greens are segmented. They are big greens. And I just think that her ball striking with hitting shorter clubs in, she'll be able to get to the segments where the holes are. Now, the ifs will be how she gets by the other golf course that she has to play once that's only a shorter golf course. I think she'll play a decent enough there to keep herself on pace. And the 3 times that she plays on the Cypress course, I think that's where she's going to ultimately win this. And oh, by the way, her caddy is Bryson DeChambeau's caddy, Tim Tucker. He won the U.S. Men's Open, and wouldn't it be nice if he had the first caddy sweep of the U.S. Opens? That's right, winning the men's and women's U.S. Opens in the same year.
It's a heck of a 10% check he would get. That's a nice cut for the year for Tim Tucker. All right, go to Dubai.
Yeah.
Race to Dubai. Give me a winner there. DP World Tour Championship.
I just think the way Patrick Reed he's one of the players in that 4 that is in form. I mean, you look at the other guys, they really haven't played all that great recently. He's coming off a tie for 10th at the Masters. But then you look at this golf course and needing experience there. And Patrick Reed has played this golf course quite well. I mean, when you look at what he's done here, and he seems to play well when he plays in Europe, but specifically, look at how well he's played here, Todd. A couple of top 10s, finished second in 2018. I just think that this golf course, he likes it. It does require a lot of imagination around the greens, and that is one of the things about Patrick Reed. His hands and his short game is really exceptional. He's putting well. I think it's absolutely going to be Patrick Reed's to win. And ultimately, Todd, we know the story, right? If you're one of those 4 and you win it, and he's at the top of the heap, and I think he's going to be at the top of the heap on Sunday, and he's going to be the first American to win the DP World Championship.
And he's made a swing coach change, too, working now with David Ledbetter.
Exactly.
Not working with Kevin Kirk right now, so it'll be interesting to see if this new swing holds up in the pressure, because he really wants to win this. I mean,
he does, but, I mean, look, he played well at the Masters, tied for 10th.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's working. I think he's doing everything great.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Patrick Reed pans out. It'll be interesting to see if Lexi Thompson pans out as well.
Wouldn't that be nice to have the caddy sweep? I mean, think about that. That probably will never happen again.
You know, it's interesting. Tim Tucker, who caddies for Bryson DeChambeau, he has to show it with so much information. He has to know the temperature, the barometric pressure, everything, all that stuff.
Yep.
Might be a little easier.
I think he's going to have a little easier job. But another reason, too, is he's going to be reading greens for her, and she does very well when someone reads greens for her.
And he's worked well with Bryson. With him. He's Tripp. I'm Todd. Thanks a lot. We'll see you later.